Okay, so now that you've had a chance to, I hope, give yourself a nice program to drive a cutter around this part profile, let's review what I hope you came up with in terms of answers. So we have 13 points. We have point 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and 13 is back up at the beginning. I just put circles around these labels here because of course you won't be seeing them. They're just here for us in our discussion right now. So, based on what we know, to get to the first point, we want to do a positioning move. So we'll say G0, 0, well, we'll start off with our standard G90, G20, and now we'll say G0, 0, and we'll go to X minus 10, Y minus 2. And now we'll go G01 to X minus 4, Y minus 2. And what do we need with a G01 at least one time? Is a feed rate, 5.0. So now we're sitting right here. We've started here with a rapid, now we've gone here. Now we're going to go to point number 3, and we're going to say X minus 1, Y minus 5. So now we're sitting here. Now we want to get over to point 4. So that is X, now we're on the plus side, right? So we're at X plus 4, Y minus 5. Now we know we need to make a G01 move. Or I'm sorry, a G02, right? We want to go clockwise. And we want to end up right here at what will be point number 5. So let's record the X and Y coordinates of point number 5. So point number 5 is at X 5.0, Y minus 6. So that's X 5.0, Y minus 6.0. But we're not done yet, are we? Now we have to tell it, do we want it clockwise or counterclockwise? In this case we want clockwise, so that would be a G02. Now we need one more thing, and what is that? The location of this center point as it relates to the point that we're actually sitting at. We're sitting here right now. This put us here. Where is the center in relation to this point? Remember how we did that? Imagine that this is now a temporary datum point, and I'll just use a different color pencil here, and we'll say, okay, this is a temporary datum point. If this were a temporary datum point, what is the X and Y location of this center? The location would be, it's at X0, but we know that the center point is 1 inch down from that start because it shows it's a 90-degree arc. So our center point in Y is at Y minus 6. But that's from this point. So from our temporary point, it's at Y minus 1. Because it's a 1 inch radius. And now do you remember what we do instead of saying X and Y here? We say I, if it's an X value, and J. And now we have a valid circular interpolation move, 2.5. Now to get us to point 6, we must reinstate the G01 because we don't want this line to be an arc of any kind. So we got to restate that we want a G01. And then we're going to go to X 5.0, Y minus what? What do you got? X 5.0, Y minus 10. Okay, now, we're sitting here. We want to get to the x and y of 0.7. What is the x and y of 0.7? 0.7 would be x plus 4.0, y minus 11. That's where we want to go to. Now, if we're sitting here, is this a clockwise or a counterclockwise arc? Well, it's clockwise, so we want a G02. And now, if we picture and pretend this becomes a temporary datum location, where is this circle in relation to our temporary datum? It's at x minus 1, y 0. So we come and say minus 1 for the temporary x value and 0 for the temporary y location, if you will think of it that way. But instead of saying x, we say I, and we say j. Another valid arc. Now we're going to go to point number 8. So, for point number 8, we want to reinstate our G01. And we go to the coordinates of point number 8, which are x minus 4, y minus 11. And now we want to go up to point number 9, which is at x minus 4, y minus what? There's our point. It's y minus 7. So we are now sitting on point number 9, and we want to go to point number 10. Notice that this happens to be a 180-degree arc, but you still do it the same way that you did the 90-degree arc. So we're sitting right here right now, and let's write down the x and y coordinate of where we want to go. So point number 10 is going to have an x coordinate of minus 8.0. This is the G01 here that got us to that point. And the y value is also minus 7.0. Okay, double check it. There's our y value, 7.0 on the minus side. Is this a clockwise or counterclockwise arc? If we're going this way, it's counterclockwise. So here comes our G03. And now our last step, imagine this is our temporary datum, where we're sitting. Where is this circle center? What would be the x and y coordinates of this point from this temporary datum? It's going to be at x minus some amount. So that means, what's its radius? 1, 2, 3, 4. So the center point is at x minus 4. And it happens to be right on the y0. There's the center, there's our tool, so it would be y0. But instead of saying x and y, we're going to say I and j. And we're done. Now we're sitting there, and now it's just a matter of straight line moves to finish off the part. G01, x minus 8.0, y minus 11. To point number 12, it's going to be x minus 10.0. Y minus 11. And to get up to the end point, x minus 10.0, y minus 2.0, and we're done. When we're finished with the program, here's a new kind of code that you can look at. Put the number, the letter M, and then the number 30. And that tells the control our program is finished. So here's another preparatory function, M, leaving us with G's. We talked about X's, we talked about Y's. We talked about I's, we've talked about J's. We've talked about the letter M and the letter F. And there are now the main components of a more sophisticated NC program. At this point, what we'll do is you can look at page number 28 and take your time, work it through. Now there's full circles here. What I'll do is I'll let you kind of try to do the full circles on your own, and then I'll review with you how we cut the profile, and then I'll give you a little talk on cutting the full circles, and then I'll show you a shortcut to do all of this. So come on back whenever you're done with your part program.